So the comrade's saying, what do these people who live in the suburbs generally do? I don't know. Do they work in factories?
No.
What do they do?
They're working in companies.
Okay, so we're saying some of them are managers. Where are they? The managers.
They are also working for the state.
Some of them work for this. Like who? Who would they be that work?
Teachers.
Teachers. Okay, comrades saying
Policemen.
Yeah.
Because they need their basic needs.
All right, so
They-
comrades. The comrades saying that teachers are middle class. Someone else disagrees.
It's my opinion.
They're saying they're middle class. Are we all saying they're middle class?
And
Okay.
tenderers are also middle class.
Who?
Tenderers.
Tenderers. Okay.
If we fumana kule nyanga wayifumana
Also my father is a middle class. My father is a middle class.
Can I ask comrades, who are the biggest tenderers around?
The white guys,
They may, we could say they're white guys, but who else now?
the Jewish. Culture is full of Jewish.
Yeah, they time me out.
Okay. That's it. They also, some of these upper classes are the biggest tenderers. Do you know Marion Roberts? Okay, the construction companies are owned by the upper
And the
class, then they
security
usually
companies.
tender.
Yeah.
But they link up with like a Ramaphosa or Motsepe who has shares in them. So the two are connected, like politicians and what you would call capitalists, people that own the means of production, are actually connected. That's why you would have politicians that get shares, because they can use then like tendering. So they know then what happened in Lonman, if we go back to Maracana. Who phoned the police?
Cyril Ramaphosa.
Why did he phone the police?
He's in power, he's a politician, you've got shares there.
He's got shares, but he doesn't have the most shares. He's got like, in one of the big mines, he's got 49%. But someone else has got, the other people's shareholders got 51, and the other one in Lonman, I think he's got about 20%. But he's part of the big one.
Where is Koza there and Kaiser?
You want Causa in there?
Yeah?
Causa's in there then.
Koza and Kaiser.
All right.
Guys
in
And Jomo Sono.
And Jomo Sono too. Those guys are.
All right.
What about the Saul Kesner?
Saul Kersner. No, Saul Kersner is not, we say Saul Kersner is middle class.
No, I said he's a wealthy.
All right, yeah, so there's Saul Kersner. I don't know how to spell Kersner,
Your
comrades.
Barack Obama's there.
Yeah, we can say. All right, so who else is this middle class now, comrades? We said teachers, we're saying some of the managers,
Nurses,
nurses. We're sure about,
CEOs.
are CEOs now? I'm going to question. Are CEOs there or they here?
They're here. For them,
Where?
yeah,
I'm
I'm talking about the
we
middle class now.
are kind of mixing them.
Okay, because CEOs sometimes, well, most they actually also own shares in the companies they usually manage.
They are on the line.
They're on the line.
The middle class and the upper class of the world.
Okay.
You must put Margawood there on that middle class. Margawood from Section 27.
So who else is there? The CEOs. We can debate this. Are CEOs? Do you know CEOs are paid actually?
Your General Secretary.
Are they paid?
Your Vavis. there.
Vavis. We say Vavis here.
Your Stumos.
Okay.
What about us?
We're going to get to us now, but we're first sorting out the middle class. Okay, so all right. Now the CEOs. Anyone know how do they get paid? They get paid two ways. They get cash.
The one that I know. Sorry.
Yeah, cool.
The one that I know for the Lonmin mine, he is getting plus minus 2 million a month.
Yeah, he gets 2 million a month. Yeah.
So I think he's also getting shares from the mine.
Yeah. So that's how he gets paid. He gets 2 million in cash a month. That's like his cash money. But then on top of that, they give him shares. So it means he starts owning. It might be a small part of the company, but he starts owning
He's
part
more
of the
like
company.
Jacob Zuma now.
So now where do we put him, comrades? Is the CEO now middle class, or do we put the CEO?
I think they are in the first class.
Are we?
Upper class.
All right, so now we go back to the middle class, comrades. We're saying they're teachers, they trade union bureaucrats that lead the stuff,
The nurses,
nurses. All right, we're saying nurses. We can debate that if we want.
Navy,
Navy,
Navy guys.
Navy. What about lawyers and doctors? Where do they fall?
No,
Middle class. Some of them.
Are they ruling class or middle
Middle
class?
class.
Middle.
Some Some say lawyers are here. Some say doctors. Other comrades say they're up there.
Some of them.
Some of them, right. So comrades, yeah. So the people that are really own this stuff, they're the upper class. People call them capitalists. Some people call them the ruling class. We'll get to why they're called the ruling class, but they own all this stuff. And you have other people who can be like managers and lawyers or whatever, but they don't own that stuff. They work. They can actually be quite highly paid. Some comrades argue nurses are in there, others don't. But they'll be like your lawyers, but you can also have lawyers up there who own stuff. So it's just generally people who are like a middle layer. They're not working class, which we'll get to now, but they're not the really rich. They're kind of just the middle. Now, comrades, who's the working class?
Us.
It's us.
Now, some comrades are saying us is middle class.
Yeah, I can't even say I'm a working class. I'm very poor.
Alright, so we're saying working class, some comrades
I
are
don't
saying
have
us.
camos.
I think domestic workers are.
Saying domestic workers.
The cashiers.
Cashiers. Alright, what else, comrades? Saying activists. Okay, construction workers. Activists.
Farm workers.
Taxi owners.
Are taxi owners, are they middle class, are they working class, or what are they? Taxi owners.
Owners. I think with owners it depends how many taxis. With some owners, a lot of taxis, some maybe have two.
Alright, so maybe they say they're a combination, the ones that own maybe lots, they can be middle and working, but they own stuff.
At least working are the taxi drivers.
Okay, the taxi drivers. Who else, comrades?
Would it be wrong to consider the unemployed people who only take temporary jobs
Okay.
to be?
The comrade's posing a I'm not going to answer much. So, the comrade's posing a question. Are the unemployed and the ones that take casual jobs, are they working class or not?
They are working class also.
Okay. What makes them working class?
Even if you have
You want me to
to
testify?
No, yeah, we can. Let's take another hand, and you can justify it.
No, I think it depends. If they're able to afford, like to afford things even when they don't have a job, like during that month, then I would think it would be okay. But if like government when they don't have a job, then I don't think they would fall under the working class if that's the case.
Okay.
Where do they fall? Like, is there like something lower than working class? There's something like double lower class or what? Yeah.
Let's hear the comrade who wanted to justify why the unemployed were working class.
I'm saying that the people that are unemployed
Yeah.
are also a working class because they don't reach like they don't how must I put this? Okay, abakwazi like they don't reach their basic needs. You see, as also same as the people. I just want to make an example with the people that are in Marikana. I love that example.
Yeah.
The thing is that those people that are working in Marikana, they earn like 4,000, but some of them, they have families, you see, and when they have those families, they don't sacrifice them properly because of the less money they have, you see, and also there are people who are unemployed. They don't like they also have families, but they don't sacrifice their families also, which means there's I would say similarity to those two people. You understand? Even if you are working as a minor, but you look the same as an unemployed because there are things that you don't get.
I think what Sean is trying to introduce is that we must understand society is ruled and it's organized in a certain way, right? Now, within this organization of the society, there are people who are called working class, there are people who are called middle class, and there are people who are called ruling class, right? Or the first class, whatever people want. Now, even if you are part of the working class, it doesn't mean all of you earn the same and you have the same living, right? In the same way that those who are in the ruling class are also not, earning something similar. They have their own interest. They might be richer than the other, but it's groupings, right? Now, what we need to understand is why the term ruling class. What does it mean, and what does middle class mean, and also what does the term working class mean? Now, if we come to grips with those definitions, then we might be able to differentiate what is what and where do we allocate what. Now, ruling class, in my understanding, without taking too much, means it's all those people who influence policy, who run our society, who dominate everyone else. Right? And they can be found in business, they can be found in government, in the state. Right? Now, further down, you would have your working class people. Everyone who needs to work to survive is usually there. That includes people who self-employed. That includes some of the people who are at times, have permanent jobs. But all of these people, what they have in common is that they have to sell their labor for them to be able to survive, right? Which is different with those who are in the top class or the ruling class, who own means of productions or who own means of ruling society. That's my argument.
All right. So the comrade is saying that, yeah.
I just want to ask, so Anene, would you prefer to say like someone who gets a grant is a working class?
All right, maybe we work it this way. All right, so can we say this is like a pyramid? Who would that be? Small group of people at the top.
Upper class.
Upper class.
Okay, we can call them the ruling class, upper class, whatever you want. That would be the middle class. The large bulk of people are the working class. How do these people survive, comrade? The ruling class. How do they live? How do they survive? We said they own the means of production. But do they work? Don't they work? What do they do?
You got that.
I think they have a lot of production, but like without the labor, like the working class people or like the middle class people, they are means of production and nothing, like they are useless.
Okay.
So like.
Without the working class, these people can't survive.
Yeah.
So all the factories are actually worked by the working class. All right. Now, why is there a working class? What does the working class do, and why do they exist?
They sell their labor in order to survive.
Yeah.
Okay, you sell yourself, you sell your labor power. So even if you're unemployed, it means the only way you actually can survive is by sell your labor power, or you can get a grant and hustle. But you own nothing.
They are the crown kickers in order for the ruling party to survive.
So yeah, comrades, the working class works everything, and you're forced to, because, well, you don't own stuff. So I don't know. Either you go work in a mine, what's the deepest mine in South Africa is 3 kilometers underground. You go and work in a hole in 3 kilometers underground to bring out gold. And then who benefits from that situation? Is it the worker? Is it the middle class?
The ruling class.
All right, comrades, how do they actually do it?
It's like
How does the ruling? There's various ways they actually do it, but how is one of the main ways they do it? So they own the means of production, but how do they keep on getting richer?
I just want to ask.
Yeah.
You asked that how do we keep on getting richer? And also that I just want to ask that those people that are in higher class, they are also like getting funders or what? I just want to ask.
They are the funders, correct?
they just work with other countries, understand?
No, what they would do is we'll get about how they actually came about in the first place, which is interesting. So how did even capitalists emerge? But we'll get there. So what they do is they own stuff. So they might even not work. They might not go to work, but they'll get money from a company. They might even appoint a manager and they don't work. Some of them might work. But what they do is they live off what they own and they live off some other stuff, and we're going to get there. So they're able to do what they do because they own mines, they own factories, they're actually powerful. Some of them sit in the state. They lobby politicians as well. They can have different interests. They can fight as well. So The ruling class are not actually, they're united because they exploit the working class. We'll get to what exploiting is now. They're united in that, but they're going to have differences. So they can squabble. So if you look like, Zuma sometimes squabbles with white businessmen, but they're actually part of the same class. They have similar interests. They want to be on top. They exploit the working class, but they can have differences. So they can argue amongst one another. They compete amongst one another. So they own stuff, and we're going to look at how this actually, exploitation, how they actually carry on getting richer.